Welcome to Knife Chats. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with friends, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Thank you. Picked this knife up several months ago. I already did a video on it. This is the Pocket Hunter by Case. It's a knife that came out of their vault this year for 2020. And this particular one was a Shepherd Hills exclusive. It's in what they called lizard skin bone, green lizard skin. It's actually the same as the Case corncob jig, and so it's also could be called a green corncob jig bone knife by Case. But Shepherd Hills Cutlery called it the lizard skin, and it was pretty cool. I wasn't planning on actually buying any of these knives because they're kind of small. It's 2 3/4 inches long, and you got the two blades going on here. For comparison, this is called the Pocket Hunter. It's basically a shrunk down version of the Folding Hunter, and here is a actual Folding Hunter. This one is by Rough Rider. So you can see the difference, 2 3/4 inches versus 5 1/4 inches long. So this is basically half the size. They basically shrunk it down quite a bit. And on this, you see, oh man, talk about a nail breaker. Big old clip blade and a long straight or skinning blade. You see that one there. Also very nice. This is in the classic carbon series by Rough Rider. Very good knife too. But like I said, I wasn't planning on picking this up, but when I got it, man, was I impressed with it, because you see here the size compared to a peanut. It's just 1/8 of an inch shorter than a peanut, but the blades are much more substantial and much better. Now, if I've already done a video on this, why am I talking about it again? Well, when I did this video, I mentioned that they also offered this in a single blade version, and I really wanted to try out a single blade version, and that's what the box behind you is for. It is a single blade version of the Pocket Hunter in the Pocket Worn series. And so I took the liberty of taking it out of the box before I even started talking, and here we have it. And this is in the what was the color of it? They called it. It is in the Pocket Worn Harvest Orange Bone Corncob Jig Pocket Knife. And if you look at it, you see the two here. They're both in a corncob jig. The difference is this one is pocket worn, so that all the high ridges here have been smoothed out a bit. Otherwise, I've got one in orange and one in green. And the orange is really kind of an interesting color. It's a burnt orange, so it's more of a brown, but man, does that look sweet. And as you can see, it is a single bladed version, so all it has on it is the clip blade, which makes it kind of cool too. And that's the main reason I was picking it up. I wanted one in a single blade and a double bladed option. So I've got the 2-blade version and the single blade version. And notice also, well, the bolster looks a little bit different on that single blade version. The top bolster, notice that? Is it just my eyes? Let me close it and see. No, it is definitely slightly different on the single blade version. You notice how this is rounded back a bit, and this one is more squared off, which I wasn't expecting to see, but it is definitely the case. Otherwise, you can also see here that the single blade version is a little narrower. Well, it should be. It's only got one back spring instead of two back springs. The 2-blade versions, if you notice, have full liners in them, which is pretty cool. I like that. It's a full liner going on. It is truly a shrunk down version of a Folding Hunter. That's all they did. But this one has slightly other differences to it, mainly that squared off bolster instead of the rounded portion of the bolster there. And the back looks like it's got a little more bump in there too. It looks a little heavier. Might be wrong, but they definitely have a little bit of a distinct difference going on with them. Otherwise, the main blade, if you can see there, the main blade on the single blade version, that's not your imagination. The main blade on the single blade version is slightly narrower than it is on the larger or the two blade version. So you have different blades going on in the two knives. One of them has a little bit more of a clip going, but if you notice, let me wipe it off again, they both have a swedge up there on the top. So they both have this swedge going. Can you see it there? You can definitely see it there. You got the swedge there, and you got the swedge there. But the blade on the single version, or single bladed version, is slightly thinner. Has a little bit less belly going on for it. But man, it's really hard for me to decide which one is sweeter. I really like both of them. This one is definitely heavier because, well, it's got two blades, but this one with the single blade, much more pocket friendly, and it still has a more, let's see, does it have a bigger blade than yeah, it's got a, especially near the pivot, the blade is definitely thicker. Blade length is probably about the same. Let's see here. Do I have a good ruler? Okay, let's see that peanut. If we can do it, I'm going to push it right there. The peanut comes in right at 2 inches. The folding hunter, yeah, also right at 2 inches. The folding hunter, yeah, if anything, it is like a hair shorter than you have on the peanut. Now remember, the peanut is 2 7/8 inches long, and the folding hunter is 2 3/4 inches long. So you would think that the folding hunter would have a shorter blade, but it is the same length as a peanut, and it's a little more substantial than you have on a peanut. Now, if you notice, the case peanut definitely has a half stop. Let's compare it to the 3-inch toothpick. Now, the toothpick will definitely have a longer blade. You see it right there, about 2 and almost 2 1/4, so 2 3/16 versus your 2-inch blade. So definitely, definitely skinnier though. So the blade on your folding hunter is definitely better. But the blade on your two-blade folding hunter is even better than the blade on your single-bladed folding hunter. And finally, now this is a Rough Rider mini canoe, but it's the same dimensions as you find on a case mini canoe, and the main blade on that is a 1 3/4 inches, and this is actually also a does it come in at 2 3/4? Yeah, they both come in right at 2 3/4 inches, if you can see here. Notice right there, 2 3/4, and right here, actually a little bit less than 2 3/4, probably 2 5/8 of an inch. But talk about a really cool addition to my folding hunters. I like this one. I like both of them, and I think it's good to have the green and orange, the burnt orange and the lizard skin. Very happy with both of them. These are knives I had not planned on picking up. I saw the dimensions of the pocket hunter and said, no way, I don't need that. I saw Slick Slicer do a review of his pocket hunter, and it's like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. After I got the green one, it's like, man, I gotta go ahead and take a look for a single blade version and try it out too. And I'm so happy that I did. Like I said, there's slight differences in the handle, other than it being a single bladed knife as opposed to a two-bladed knife. But both are really cool. And they come in right around $50–$60, and I think they're well worth it. if you're a case collector, I know you already have them. If there's been a small case knife that you're thinking about getting, you might want to consider these. They're out of the vault, which is a shame, which means they're going to go back in the vault at the end of the year, and then you won't see them for a while, and that's a pity. These are definitely knives that a case should consider not throwing back in the vault and actually putting into a more frequent production. And to be honest with you, if I was doing marketing at Case, what I would probably do is I would take these knives, the Pocket Hunter, the Peanuts, the Toothpicks, and their mini canoes, and I would put those in a rotation so that one of those patterns would be coming out every 4 years. So for instance, in 2021 they could come out with the butter beans, and then in 2022 they do the peanuts, and then in 2023 they come out with the toothpicks, and then in 2024 they come back out with the pocket hunters. And in the meantime, these knives would not be made. The other ones would not be made. So every 4th year one of these patterns would be made. I think it would drive up demand on the small ones. I know the little toothpick, the tiny toothpick collectors out there would probably scream bloody murder. Same with the peanuts, because they are very popular knives. But these other two knives, you don't see them as often, it seems, and they definitely deserve to be made more often because they are just really cool patterns that a lot of people like. I've got an order in for a butter bean from Case. Once I get it in, I'll let you know what I think about it. But I've heard so many good things about the Case butter bean that I'm sure I will not be disappointed in it. Just like this is a knife that I never thought I would have picked up, but man, am I happy I picked it up. These are some of the best knives I've gotten from Case, and I don't know how long. If you were disappointed in last year's canoes and decided to pass on this year's vault knives because of, I'm sorry, canoes, it wasn't last year's canoes, it was last year's Barlows. If you're upset with the quality control in last year's Barlows and decided to pass on this year's vault knife, I can understand that, but you're really missing out. These are really well made, top notch. The build quality is just amazing. I'm totally impressed with them. They are, you don't hear too often, but I would definitely say that these are right up there in quality with my Great Eastern knives. These little pocket hunters, they're just solid. You might feel a little pivot grind when you first get them. Just clean them out and oil them, and they'll be great. Really happy with both of these, and I'm actually looking at picking up a third pocket hunter because of how much I like these. What I would have loved to have seen in the pocket hunter would have been a single blade version featuring this blade, the Skinner blade. I think that would have been really cool. They have that little Skinner blade in a pocket hunter. It wouldn't be that distinctive bump there. It'd be straight across on the bottom. Anyway, I'll let you go now. Stick around for the slideshow. Thank you for visiting Knife Chats. I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell so that you will be notified when the next episode of Knife Chats is up online. Thanks again. See you soon.